What is going on with Ethereum name service with the ENS token? It's one of the top performers today and in the last week. Who's buying here, who's selling here, and why? Let's look beyond the price action. Let's have a look at on-chain data to figure out what's actually going on. Now here's a list of top cryptocurrencies. It's ordered by the performance in the last 7 days. This is the top 100 and ENS is at number 1. Now what's happening over here? Some people think that it's the upcoming launch of a new layer 2 blockchain on top of Ethereum. So there's going to be yet another layer 2 on top of ETH. There's so many already. There's Polygon, there is Base, there's Optimism, there's Arbitrum. Now there will be Namechain at one point. The founder of ENS, Nick Johnson, also gave several interviews about the topic. But can that really explain that today the price is up by 34%? Or that it's up by 91% this week? Or that it more than 4x'd in the last year? I'm not sure if it's the news that are driving the prices. Otherwise, crypto journalists would be the richest people on the planet. What's really driving prices is what the whales are doing. Now let's have a look on chain, on the Ethereum blockchain, what those 66,000 holders roughly are currently doing. Because not all of those 66,000 holders are created equally. Some of them might just hold a few cents of the token, others might hold hundreds of thousands of dollars of the token. Let's have a look at the performance in the last month. What happened in the last month? On the left side we see the number of new wallets per day. On the right side we see the ratio of new versus returning wallets per day, so normalized to 100%. And we can see very nice growth actually. We went from around 60 new wallets per day to now more than 200. And today hasn't even finished, right? Today has just started. We're probably going to end up with around 400 new wallets just today. The ratio of returning versus new users tends to be somewhat stable though. We had tens of thousands of buyers of sellers upon launch, and we do see how after the launch we sometimes see those spikes in attention. Currently we tend to spike again. Now here's something very interesting, and I believe that's the reason why the price is currently going up and why the price still stays somewhat stable. It's the whales that accumulate over time. So what we see over here are the number of whale wallets versus the number of retail wallets over time. In the middle is something in between. So to be counted for the chart on the left, one has to hold at least 30 ENS tokens. So at the current price, that's around $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, it's 300 tokens, so $10,000 minimum holding. On the right side, another 10x minimum holding, so $100,000 worth of the token. The small wallets tended to sell off their airdrop over time. The large whales tend to buy it up. Now I personally do not like to look at US dollar charts because over time, of course, the US dollar expands in supply. So over time, pretty much every asset goes up in price. What I think is more important is opportunity costs, right? So are we going to buy Ethereum or are we going to buy ENS? The thing that's more risky should bring more return over time because the assets are correlated with one another, right? When Ethereum goes up, then ENS goes up as well. When it goes down, then the other thing goes down as well. So since there's so much correlation in a diversified portfolio, it makes sense to buy either of those two assets, right? It doesn't make that much sense to own a lot of both. And so here we've got the ENS price divided by the Ethereum price. How much did ENS outperform Ethereum over time? And this chart starts in November of 2021. We have seen a slight underperformance, but there is quite a bit of volatility. From bottom to top, we see rallies of more than 200%. From top to bottom, we see crashes of 75%. Now here's something very interesting that tends to be a correlation between the price and the trading volume of an asset. So at the bottom, we see the trading volume. Whenever trading volume spikes up, the price also tends to spike up. Whenever trading volume tends to trickle down, the price also has the possibility to rather bleed. We see this especially for meme coins that are mainly driven by attention, but we can also see it for tokens like ENS. Now, in a situation where the current momentum is negative and where we suddenly see a crash, high trading volume can also mean a turnaround because at this point in time, a lot of tokens move hands. So the small retail investors might be causing the crash, and then there's new investors buying at that dip, right? And they've got a different reference price. They can digest more risk, and that's normally when selling pressure subsides. So it's always interesting to look at those spikes in trading volume. Currently we are rather high both on the trading volume and on the price. That's not necessarily that great. Normally it's better to buy when nobody is looking, when trading volume is very low, when not a lot of new people enter the token. Now, here's the thing. I believe that most upside potential is in the small market cap tokens. And it's especially in the meme coins. Have a look at this. In the last 7 days, what performed the best? It's all meme coins and it's hundreds of % potentially. We talked about Chill Guy early on this channel. We talked about Bully early on this channel. We also talked about the TITS token early on this channel. So feel free to follow here. Because here's the problem. Once a token rises to a certain market cap, it takes a lot of capital again to double and triple the token. And especially for meme coins that do have a lot of risk, that can easily go down by 50-60%, you do still want to see the upside potential. And so when the market cap is already pretty high in the billions of dollars, then there is not that much upside potential, but there's still the downside potential. So the risk versus reward isn't that great. Have a look at this. This is the largest meme coins in the last week. Pretty much everything went down. Only Dogecoin went slightly up. So once a meme coin has risen to a certain level, it's time to be cautious. It might make sense to go into the tokens that are not in the billions, but only in the tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. But the question is always, how can we pick the right small meme coin, right? There are so many small meme coins. How do we not get burned? And I believe the answer to this is wallet tracking. So the blockchain is 100% transparent. And so once we've got a wallet of a certain influencer, of somebody that moves markets, of somebody that is a top trader, of somebody that did do the right things in the past. Once we have those wallets, we've got a very nice mechanism to filter what to buy and what to sell. Have a look at this. So this is Martini Guy, and he bought the Moon token when it was still at 4066. So that was even before the listing on Radium. So that was directly on the pump.fun ecosystem platform. When he bought, his position went up by more than 4,000%. Of course, it subsequently collapsed, but that's the idea of trading, right? You don't just want to buy and hold meme coins. Meme coins are a rotation game. You want to be in as long as the momentum is positive, and you want to exit very quickly once that turns around. Have a look at this here. Another alert by the Martini Guy. He bought the Fatties token, again directly on Pump Fun. And again, a very similar development. So the purchase happened directly on the platform. Subsequently, the price went up by 1,680% and then came crashing back down. Now, what's important with buying tokens that early, with tracking other influencers, is that first of all, we have to take profit, but secondly, also we have to be somewhat diversified. We can't bet half of our portfolio on a single bet. This is very risk on. So here again, the Martini Guy. He bought Chippy, and that was at 2022. Here are his purchases. Now it's at 2016. So there are trades that don't necessarily always work out. It is a game of risk versus reward. You want to buy when the upside is still there. You don't want to buy the meme coins that are in the billions of dollars. But when going risk on like this, it's more important than with any other strategy not to lose everything, right? It's important to make small bets every now and then take profit when those make multiple X returns. And so that's why I made several tutorial videos on the topic, on risk mitigation, on portfolio diversification, of course also on-chain tracking, etc. Now I've talked about him now often enough, so here is that guy. This is Martini Guy. He's got 150,000 subscribers and we track 12 of his wallets. We did this through on-chain analytics. We found out some of his wallets. But check this out. This is Alex Becker's channel. We also track his wallets. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. Now, when he talks about a token, it puts that much attention on the token that of course the price has to rise. We've got also 12 of his wallets. We're also tracking Crypto Banter with 1.1 million subscribers. We've got 33 of their wallets. And so I really believe this is the way to get an edge in crypto. It's not just buying random tokens that are funny, that are in some kind of list of trending tokens. I think it's much more important to follow the insiders. It's to follow the early money. It's to follow the people that have more attention and that can push prices higher. I like this strategy of wallet tracking that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course on just that. So it's 8 videos in total. It's how to find influencer wallets, it's how to track them. It's also how to interpret the signals that we get from the tracking. Once we have a signal, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to discuss our on-chain analytics. We have to compare what kind of conclusions we come to. That's why we've got our dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 US per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, in case you don't learn anything, just message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so does it still make sense to buy ENS? possibly because all of crypto is currently expanding and Ethereum is very, very depressed right now. If Ethereum can rebound, then very likely ENS will come with it. What's very important though, I believe, is to watch very closely how much this layer 2 will get adoption. Because if it does get widespread adoption, which probably the market is currently pricing in, then everything is fine. If it doesn't get that adoption though, then the price might as well deflate again. It looks like retail is selling while the whales are buying. I personally prefer to follow the whales, right? The whales tend to make the better calls. They've got that much money for a reason. They probably traded pretty smart in the past, and it's more likely that those kinds of traders are going to make the right calls in the future as well. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish you exactly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.